Hi, everyone. We're back live for today's Insights Tech Showcase. Before I hand it on over to our speaker, I just want to remind you about that Q&A box. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them there and we'll get to them at the end. So now, Aneesh, I'll hand it on over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bridget. And welcome everyone to NIT's presentation on what does end-to-end AI integration look like. My name is Aneesh, one of the co-founders and the CEO of NIT. And thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon for Greenbook's Chatbot and AI Assistant Summit. For those of you hearing about NIT for the very first time, we have built an AI native insights platform that combines the power of quant, video, and AI to help the world's best brands get a quicker and more holistic understanding of their target audience. Now, we do this through our AI research assistant, which is what we're going to talk about today, which helps you with the entire process end to end. You simply drop in your business and research objectives. It helps you generate a survey. It helps you with fielding, making sure you have high quality embedded responses. It helps you analyze the quant data and the qual data, both open-end text and video. And finally, it even helps you build out powerful consumer stories through our reporting tools. So before we dive into all of this, let's just talk a little bit about the state of consumer research today. I'm sure we're all feeling this a bit. It seems like accelerating speed to insight is more important now than it's ever been before. This is pressure that's coming internally from our stakeholders, but also externally from our customers. In today's digital first world, customers are expecting brands to continue keeping up with their fast changing consumer behaviors. But as we all know, there's always been this historical trade-off between depth and speed. You can go really deep with your customers, understanding them through qualitative methods like focus groups and IDIs, but that can take weeks, if not months, to conduct and analyze properly. You can also run research faster, but oftentimes you're trading off on that depth and going deep with that customer. That's why at NIT, we are so excited about the applications for AI in this industry. At NIT, we believe that AI will help amplify researchers, giving them, in a sense, superpowers to run research. And that will completely change the relationship, that historical trade-off between depth and speed, and allow researchers to get holistic and well-rounded answers in days, not weeks. Now, before we dive into what that looks like and how we're doing that today, let's just talk about what research looks like today. I think a lot of us can probably empathize with this person on the screen today, right? Research, especially qualitative research, it can be time consuming, it can be expensive, and sometimes it can be pretty tedious. So just from a high level, right, when we're talking about study design, you can spend days working with your internal stakeholders to build out that perfect questionnaire. You can then spend weeks conducting this research, whether it's focus groups or IDIs, to really talk to your customers and go gather that data. And then that data oftentimes is paragraph after paragraph of unstructured data sets, which today's tools can help you get somewhat of a surface level understanding those key words, but might not help you go all the way deeper into understanding those key themes and key insights coming from those themes. And finally, you have to share that across the organization. And that can be kind of a patchwork job as well, where you're taking insights from some of the quant data, some of the qual data, and building it and piecing it together, knitting it together to tell a more holistic understanding of that customer. So that's the world that we're living in today. And in 2024, that can still take weeks, if not months, to do properly, especially when you want to go deep with the customer through both quant and qual or hybrid methodologies. Today, we'll talk about what the world can look like when we use AI and apply that across the market research, across the consumer research process end to end. And I can't promise it's going to look like this with flying cars and awesome skyscrapers, but it does end up yielding some pretty cool results when it comes to running consumer research, which we'll talk about how some of our brand partners, and one in particular today, a case study we'll walk through today, and how they used it and the results they got from it. So at NIT, really what we're focused on is AI's application across some of those key components of the consumer research process, from design to analysis to reporting. And what we've done here is we've built an AI research assistant, which I know is the topic of today's summit, called Ada, that helps you across those three key steps and more, helping you automate and streamline that process. So helping you with the study design, the analysis, as well as the reporting. So today we'll actually look at a partner of ours that use this. There's several different use cases our partners run research for NIT on, but today we'll really hone in on some research around foundational behavioral research. The topic of this study was uncovering and analyzing what consumers and how consumers think about influencers and celebrity endorsements. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in, and we can kind of walk step by step how that partner used NIT across those three major buckets and what the end result was in terms of the depth and the speed at which they were able to run this research. So starting from the top, let's focus on the study design component. Through our AI survey tool, our partner simply just dropped in a couple of sentences about their research objectives and their business objectives. They then shared a little bit more about the sample they wanted to gather, how many respondents they wanted, the demographic criteria of those respondents, any custom screeners, any custom quotas, and they just sent all of that to Ada, which again is our AI research assistant. Within a couple minutes, Ada generated a survey, a study design for them. And as you can see, this is a pretty robust study design, over 25 plus questions. And these questions range across quantitative questions, over 100 plus different question types that it can tap into, qualitative question types, open-ended text responses, video responses. And the other thing you'll notice is how it's sharing this data or how it's sharing this output. It's a kind of Microsoft Word-esque format, right? A Microsoft Word-esque experience where you can go in and simply edit this like you would a Word document. So it also removes a lot of that programming, that we've historically had to do when you're building out a study. Now, after sending that survey out for fielding, within about 48 hours, our partner was able to fully field their sample. And of course, they got a ton of great quantitative data because of all those different question types they were able to ask. But more importantly, they were able to get that depth that we were talking about earlier through these video responses, these 30 to 90 second long video responses. And that equates to about 10 hours worth of video data here. So that's where our partner really tapped into Ada to help with the analysis of all of this unstructured data from our platform. So we'll start off with kind of the workflow that they used to analyze that data. The first thing they did was they tapped into Ada's summarization tool, the summary tool. And what this does is Ada goes through and it reads through all those videos, generates transcripts, and then summarizes all of that for our partner. And there were two things that our partner called out here. The first is they called out how Ada actually quantifies that qual. You'll notice that Ada's not just talking about the key themes, it's actually quantifying those key themes, mentioning specific occurrences of those themes, like 29% or 21% or 12% of respondents. The second thing is it's actually citing all of those sources. You can see in the little green box there, the citations. And if you click into the citations, you'll see all the videos related to that theme. So if there's 32 in that green box, when you click into it, you'll see all 32 videos that it's citing from. And this ensures that Ada is transparent and there's no black box when it comes to AI. It's removing hallucination where the AI might make stuff up because it's forcing the AI, it's forcing Ada to cite all of its sources. From there, if our partner wanted to get a sense of some of those themes, they wanted to dig a little bit deeper into some of those themes. And that's where these theme trees that Ada generates became incredibly valuable. With these theme trees, our partner was able to explore all the different themes coming out of the data set, from the most frequently occurring themes, like different celebrity traits, down to some of the long tail of those themes. You can really easily explore across all the themes that have been coded. You can also then drill down into those themes, looking at the sub-themes coming out of it. And then finally, you can combine and edit and really customize these themes. And this really goes back to our philosophy on AI. At NIT, we are big believers that AI will never be able to replace what a researcher can do, but it can automate a lot of the grunt work that goes into analysis, especially qualitative analysis. That's why throughout our platform, but especially here, you can really easily tweak any of these themes. You can edit them, combine them, customize them, so that the researcher you guys are really focused on making sure these themes make sense within the context of your business, and then applying these themes into insights and driving action with those insights. Now from here, if you click into any of those drill downs, our partner was then able to actually see the specific videos that that Ada was pulling from in coding. So again, this gives that level of transparency, that level of control to see exactly where in the data set, exactly where in the transcript are these themes coming from. Now, with that high level summary, being able to dive into those specific themes, drilling down to the specific videos, the next step from there was our partner wanted to ask some very pointed questions about the data set. So from here, they were able to leverage our AI assistant's chatbot, asking those very pointed questions or any follow-up questions they might have gotten from a stakeholder. And again, getting a very kind of similar summarization of those insights, which they can then click into any of those citations and see the specific videos that are coming from that citation. So we just walked through that workflow for video, but all of this is possible with open-end text as well. So a similar summarization feature, very similarly, the theme trees that it generates using the open-end text, and finally, different ways to visualize it, like through word clouds. So that's how our partner used NIT for analysis. But as I mentioned, we've integrated this AI research assistant end to end on our platform. So then we dive into a little bit more about how our partner used us for sharing those insights across their organization. Now, one of the big benefits of NIT, as you guys saw earlier in the study design phase, is our ability to combine both quant and qual into one data set. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to quantify the qualitative data and qualify the quantitative data. And so we'll walk through a little bit, we'll walk through what that means here in just a second. So when it comes to sharing out these insights, let's say you wanted to share out these insights through the lens of a specific audience. In this case, we'll just use generations, for example. With Ada, you can really easily tell our AI research assistant to look at all the data through the lens of these different generations. So you can build out these different generational cohorts on the platform, and then Ada will actually go through and cut all of the data by those different cohorts. In this case, we're actually cutting all the qualitative themes that you guys saw earlier in this presentation by those different generations: Millennial, Gen Z, Gen X, Boomer. And this is what I meant by quantifying the qualitative data. You can now easily compare and contrast those qualitative themes across these different cohorts. And Ada will go as far as actually calling out any statistically significant insights within the qualitative data across these different cohorts or across these different lenses. Now, once you've identified those key insights, you can simply drop into or drill down into any of those themes, identify those videos, and then drop those videos into our custom video editing software, our Showreels feature. And what our Showreels feature allowed our partner to do was really easily identify or highlight which portions of the transcripts they wanted to share with their stakeholders, drag and drop that in order, and then add a little bit of polish, their own branding, their background music, and different slides and different features within those slides, and then really easily share that through our video or through our reporting tools. So you can drop these videos into our auto-generated presentations. The AI will actually generate a presentation based on some of the key insights with Quant and Qual, and then share these presentations across your organization. So the end result of this was research similar to this was taking our partners up to 4+ weeks to run. Because we integrated AI end to end, from survey design to analysis to reporting and several other steps in between, which we didn't get time to cover today, we were actually able to cut that workflow by almost 10x, from 30+ days down to about 3 days. And again, that was because of AI's application, this AI research assistance application across the entire research workflow. So with that, I know it's Friday afternoon. We're gonna go ahead and wrap things up here, go to Q&A, hopefully get you guys out here a couple minutes early for the rest of the event. But I'll go ahead and turn it over to Bridget for any Q&A that you guys might have. Thank you guys so much for attending again.
Wonderful. Thank you. We do have a few questions. And just as a reminder to our audience, if you have any questions, you can pop them in that Q&A box. Can Ada learn from user interventions, like combining themes, and carry them forward to other projects? In other words, can the assistant evolve to adapt the norms of a team/company work culture?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question, Taylor. Totally, it definitely can, and it's done on a local level as well. So, if you, let's say you have multiple teams within an enterprise brand, you can divide it up by that. Obviously, any learnings that it gets from you, it won't be sharing with other customers as well. And we can actually take that one step further. You can also share with Ada your company's best practices for future research as well. So you can really fine tune it and customize it for your organization specifically.
Wonderful. This next question's a fun one, and I think everyone's going to know where it's going about halfway through. It's been the hottest topic over the last year. Wonder what that is. Curious to hear what's Knit's point of view on the application of AI within the market research space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we started working on AI research assistants for the market research space over a year ago. Really early to applying AI in the space, and over time our thinking on it has evolved. But where we believe our philosophy, where we've landed, is this idea of researcher-driven AI. We believe that at the end of the day, AI will never be able to fully automate what a researcher is doing. It just doesn't have the context from what's context on your business, context on how to navigate internally in these organizations as well. So we think about AI as a really powerful tool in your toolkit. We kind of wanted to, as cliche as it sounds, give our researchers that use our platform the superpowers to go and do things that maybe took them a team of 20 to do, that now they can do, so that overall there's more research just being done across the organization. So it's not a replacement, it's more of an amplification, and that only happens if you build a platform where the researcher is at the center of it, the researcher is in full control of how the AI is being used and how the outputs are, and how to customize those outputs for their business.
That's great. Thank you. Can you explain more about contextual analysis and why it's different from how other tools are analyzing qual?
Yeah, absolutely. So we spent a lot of time building out this contextual analysis, framework within our platform. And what we do is we look at what that underlying context is, and you can do that by looking at what's the question that's being asked, what is that respondent saying across their response as well. So in the context of this case study that we just went through, we saw this play out really well with the influencer piece. The AI actually can tell, like, hey, in this case, we're going to bucket this. Let's say it's a celebrity athlete influencer as a celebrity athlete, versus as more generally as an influencer. And so it knows how to kind of bucket those themes very similar to how a human does, because a human's taking that context of what's the question here, what else are they saying, versus what historically we've been seeing in the market is more of a surface level, like keyword analysis. So I think it's just a more human way to run research with AI. And it's something that we're really excited about, and the results that our customers are seeing kind of speak for themselves in terms of how accurate those insights are, and kind of coding it like a human.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you customize the analysis output from your AI? And what if you want to dig into something deeper or tweak the outputs of the AI?
Totally. Yeah, all doable. And we kind of touched on it a bit in this presentation, but yeah, you can absolutely customize the output. You can combine any of these themes, edit those themes, remove themes, add themes. And most importantly, I think it's giving that control to the researchers, so that it's not going to be 100% there. It's not going to have that context that you have. So making it really easy to customize it is super important. And then the other aspect of that is the transparency, right? Throughout the platform, we want to make sure that within 1 to 2 clicks, you can see the original data source and how it was taken from that data source, and how it was coded, and how it was bucketed, so that you're always kind of, there's always transparency in how it's being done, and it's not kind of a black box like AI sometimes can be.
Yeah, thank you. Are there restrictions to the type of data you can import into NIT?
Yeah, so I mean, we support a lot of different types of methodologies and modalities of the data. Today on the platform, you can run Quant. We have 100 plus different question types that we're compatible with. Video responses, asynchronous video responses, and then open-end text. In terms of importing, today it is limited to just Quant and open-end text. But we'll be adding a lot of really exciting stuff in the future, which we're excited to announce. Yeah, in terms of running different methodologies, long form qual is still not fully compatible with our platform. But again, we have a lot of exciting product features being released here in the next quarter. So more to come on that.
Awesome. And last question I think I have here for you. Can you use NIT for just analysis, or do we have to field everything through NIT's panel as well?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so a really exciting product feature we just launched, I think about 2 months ago, was the ability to upload data directly into NIT. So even if this is research that you haven't run on NIT, that's maybe been lying around in a drive or a box folder for a while, and you just have a ton of open-end text data that you want to analyze, we made it super simple to just CSV import a data set into the platform and get started. So you can have access to all of these features to analyze any data set that you have today. And it's really easy to get set up. So if that's of interest to anyone, feel free to check out our website, and someone on our team would be happy to hop on a quick call and show you how to get started there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you for this presentation. It was wonderful. Thanks to all of our attendees for being here. We do have a few minutes before the next session will begin. So stretch your legs, grab some water, and we'll see you over there. Aneesh, thank you again. I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, Bridget. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care. Bye.